Just give me, I'm trying to work out here how I can share my screen with you guys. It says it's sharing the screen, but in our sharing is all it's showing you is my, it's all it's showing you is my desktop, which is no use to anybody. I spent all day.
Are you using a MacBook or a phone? What device are you using?
I'm using a, let me mute my YouTube. I'm using a laptop.
Is it a MacBook or just a laptop?
Laptop.
It's a laptop. Okay, so you should have an option there in
Where's this YouTube? YouTube's feeding
you
back.
should have an option there for screen sharing. I don't know if I can do it because I'm an invitee. Hold on a second.
How do I get back away? I've lost you.
So did you created this meeting, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go into that, it should give you the option to share the content. Hold on, let me just see if I can.
Because at the bottom it says share screen.
Yeah, so click that. That's right.
But when I click it, I can see the video, but you guys can't.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, and the only thing that shows, right, can you see this right now? Let me.
I can just see a black and white image that says the Black Child Agenda.
Yeah.
So Cheryl.
Yeah.
So when you go into share video, is there anything on the bottom left-hand corner that says share video or share sound?
Oh, it's working. That says has shared screen.
So let me see so you can see this, yeah?
Yes, I can see your screen and it looks like your inbox. Yeah, I can actually see your screen. Yes, that's right. I'm assuming
so can you see the video sharing?
I can't see a video. I can actually just see a desktop.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. Yes. Because when I've clicked it now, it's playing, but it's not doing anything, but you can't see it. That's where it stops.
So I think when you play the video, you have to click on share content again.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Where does that say that?
So on because I'm using my handset, it just says it at the share content. And of course, when I've clicked on it, it says it can only be shared by host. Only the host can share in this meeting.
The only thing it's given me, how many participants can share at one time? Who can share the host? Oh, that's so annoying because I can't, what you're describing, I don't have on my multiple participants can share advanced sharing options.
Yeah, go to advanced sharing options.
Yeah,
maybe.
it doesn't, how many participants can share at the same time? That's all it's given me. And I did it the other day. I found it. Someone showed me how to do it and I can't remember how to do it.
Oh, let me just ask my daughter. Hold on just 1 second. She might know.
That is the best for kids.
Quick, honey.
See the meeting.
So when you go to advanced sharing options, did it not give you an option to share video, share sound?
No, it doesn't say anything. It just says you are screen sharing. And that's it. And it's all I can see. I can see what you can see, which is just my desktop.
Okay, Nidhi. So I'm on the Black Child Agenda Zoom.
You should be sharing the video and not your screen.
And
how do I share video then? Because it doesn't give me any options here. Hold on, apps.
So what the host wants to do is share the actual video. So she shared her screen, but the video hasn't been shared. But she wants to be able to share the video. How does she do that on Zoom as the host? Just play it. Yeah. Oh, okay. Hello.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. My daughter was saying that maybe once you start playing the video, it should automatically share. Or it will give you the option of sharing once you start playing it.
It's not even giving me that. If it was, it would be easy.
Good evening, Cheryl.
Hi.
is it possible for you to close the video that you want to share,
Mm.
and then perhaps go on this the share button, the share button on Zoom, click on it, and then if it take you to, then you need to navigate your way to where you stored the video or the PowerPoint you want to share.
That's what I've done. And when I see, you can see the folder here, right? And what happens is it lets me go into this folder, but it doesn't allow me to do anything else. When I've clicked the video, which is the one to the right, it's not sharing with you guys.
I hope when you did your setting, you did not click on anything that would disallow you from doing it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, let me just try and go on my other Zoom and then talk you through it. Just hold on one sec. Then I can see what you can see if I was in a meeting. So, okay, now I wanna
Share screen, right?
I just click on, just hold on one sec. Let me go back to my Zoom. You're doing it from a laptop, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It would be easier. Clearly not.
Just hold on.
I think you might need to go to meeting settings, and it gives you the option there of the video. I think that's what it is, but maybe this other lady knows.
And I tried this earlier and I did it really well. I was like, look at me being great.
Don't worry. I think you just go into
technology for you.
If you go into manage settings as the host, and if you just put on always show meeting controls.
Wait, let me go down. Where is the mail, calendar, team contacts, apps, whiteboards, meetings?
Oops. So meeting settings is what you need. I think you need to go into.
It's not even doing that. Where is it on my desktop then?
Okay, look, I'm on mine now, right? So I just click on the video that I want to share even before I go on Zoom. So if I wanted to share a video or maybe a PowerPoint, I open the PowerPoint down, right? So when I do that, and then I go to my Zoom, so the PowerPoint is already open now.
All right, let me see. All right, let me try that. Let me try go into it and open it from now.
Yeah.
Such a night. Right, it's open. So let me go back into Zoom.
So you go back to Zoom and then you click on share. So you will see a screen that you opened. Can you see your screen? The last one.
Yeah, hold on. Can you see this?
Yeah, right. Okay, so click on it now. Click on the play.
Can you see that?
Yeah, we can see a justice sign.
Scales.
Bumper Red, look at me, genius.
Well done.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Cheryl, just letting you know that we can't hear this video.
You have to share your sound.
Oh no, you lot. How now?
I'm going to do the sound. Just hold on. Let me log back in again. So to do the sound, you need to go to your audio setting. One sec. So, Parami, can you pause it, please?
Yeah,
so you go on. There's a little on your share screen. There's a little arrow there. Click on it, and then you see advanced sharing option. Right, click on that, and no, hang on, wait. Okay, go back and just click on share screen. right? When you get there, click on, there's a basic, there's advanced, and there's files.
See, I don't have that. Why don't I have that?
You should have that. So when you go back and click on share screen, then you're gonna see basic, advanced, and files.
I've got one participant can share at a time. Multiple participants can share.
No, you're on the wrong part. Hold on. Don't click on that arrow that I told you before. Just click on the green screen that said share screen. Click in the middle. Click in the middle of it, right?
Right.
Okay. Then you're gonna see basic, advanced, and files.
Oh yeah.
Click on the advanced.
Yeah.
Then click on computer audio.
Okay.
And then click on share.
Okay. Look at you, clever clogs. Because I ain't got a clue. Hold on, let me move this. How do I get this out? Right now, let me find back. Oh, this thing is in the way. Oh, here we go. So where's my screen that I was sharing on? All right, let me go back to the beginning because that gives me time to run and have a little.
Okay.
Let me know if you can hear it. Hold on.
Okay.
They now have the rights to take children away from their parents if they don't affirm their gender. This is how serious it's got. A woman actually had her child taken off her.
I can't see the screen.
A man in Texas, absolutely heartbreaking. He's just lost his wife and kids because his wife took the kid, fled all the way to California to transfer the child, and he went to court about it, heartbroken, and he lost the case.
But not the screen, clearly.
Yeah, so you need to then go back to, see. You go back to that video. Once you've done that, go back to the video and share it the way we did it initially. So if you do that now, it should share the video and the sound.
It's not. It's given. It's like it just says you are sharing computer sound. Hold on.
Oh, no. Go back to that screen. Share screen.
Forget the e-banking. Forget the e-banking.
What if I click on video?
Yeah, click on the video. Yeah, click on the video.
And
click on share.
Email has assets which they own.
It doesn't allow me to click both. Hold on. Let me do share. Oh, fuck.
Don't worry, you get it.
Because there's some serious things I want you lot to see tonight. That's why.
Yeah.
Share screen. Computer audio.
Don't panic. Don't worry. You'll get there. We're patiently waiting. Don't worry.
So if I click the video, you see in the one that you sent me in advanced files, basic, I've clicked share computer audio. So what if now I click video? Will it allow me?
Yeah, it should allow you. So you go back again, click on that middle screen, and then you'll find your video on where you opened it before. Click on it and click on share.
DJ, whoever your name is, this was done earlier, and then I had to go out. Then I had a call with the parent. Then I've now come back, and then I've literally forgotten. I've just come through the door. Then I tripped over a wire and busted my knee and nearly fell into tears. So please excuse me. I do have a really, really long week of things to do, plus preparing for this as well. So yeah, it is just one of them days, and we'll get there in the end. And yeah.
Let's just be patient. Cheryl, don't worry, we are with you.
I'm not. Do you know what the thing is?
It's technology. You know what you're going to do? Go back again, right? Leave Zoom, open your video again. Then you go back to Zoom again. Okay, yeah, close it, go back again. And then you just redo it again. Just start the process again. It should work. So you close that video, leave Zoom, close the video, come back, click on share screen, and then do it again.
Here we go. Can you see it?
We can see the Black Child agenda.
Thank you. Let's see.
But not a video.
Wait, hold on.
Oh yeah, it's coming up.
They now have the rights to take children away from their parents.
We can hear you now.
This is how serious it's got. A woman actually had her child taken off her, and a man in Texas, absolutely heartbreaking. He's just lost his wife and kids because his wife took the kid.
Now I'm tech
Thank you.
Genius.
Well done.
No, thank you, guys.
They now have the rights to take children away from their parents if they don't affirm their gender. This is how serious it's got. A woman actually had her child taken off her, and a man in Texas, absolutely heartbreaking. He's just lost his wife and kids because his wife took the kid, fled all the way to California to trans their child, and he went to court about it, heartbroken, and he lost the case.
Oh,
his daughter is now being medicalized. California has turned around and decided and said that they are the safe haven for trans youth. And if your parents won't affirm you, you can flee. Even as a child on their own can flee to California and they will medicalize you without parental consent.
I don't.
It leaves you speechless, doesn't it? It's that bad. And for
You're
example,
telling me they're encouraging children to run away from their. So who is going to be who's going to be a guardian? Who's going to guide the youth?
They don't care about that. They just care about pushing their agenda. I mean, I saw something else that was awful. There was a school nurse in Connecticut, right, who exposed on Facebook that the school. There were 12 kids. 2 of them had been prescribed puberty blockers without the parental consent, and 10 of them were identifying as non-binary. The nurse exposed this on Facebook, and she got fired. The nurse got fired for warning the parents. Wow. That's where we're at.
Wow. Man, when you see, it's funny because there's so many things going on that show that there is some kind of an agenda. Because when you think of even, look, I'm not going to go off topic, but it kind of relates. Look at the way people are getting cancelled now for saying, obvious things. And now you look at this, stuff that you just mentioned. It's almost as if you say anything that makes sense or does anything that makes sense, but it's against an agenda, it doesn't matter how sensible what you said is. You're not doing what we want you to do. This is like the mafia.
Oh, it is.
This is literally a mafia.
If you against any narrative, you are a Nazi. That is what they say now. They call you a Nazi. I get called a Nazi all the time.
Wow.
Just because I want children to wait. Because here's the thing, right? If someone's going to be trans, they're going to be a trans. And when they're adult, you can't stop them because they can make their own decisions. So if someone, reaches adulthood and they still want to go along with it, that's on them. They made that choice. But when you are a child, you cannot give informed consent. You have no idea. Your brain is still developing. Children, when I was a little kid, I wanted to be Superman. Kids want to be unicorns. They want to be inanimate objects sometimes. So if a kid comes up to you and says, "Oh, I think I'm the opposite gender," and you affirm them, what are you doing? That could be a phase. They might not mean it, but if it's not a phase, when they're adult, they can then do something about it. Why does that make you a Nazi wanting to protect children?
Yeah.
Now look at this. Now look at this.
On oral sex, how to choke your partner safely, and 72 genders. This is what passes for relationships and sex education in British schools. Across the country, children are being subjected to lessons that are age inappropriate, extreme, sexualising and inaccurate, often using resources from unregulated organisations that are actively campaigning to undermine parents. This is not a victory for equality, it is a catastrophe for childhood. Will my right honourable friend honour his commitment to end inappropriate sex education by commissioning an independent inquiry into the nature and extent of this safeguarding scandal?
Can I say I share my honourable friend's
concerns and thank her for her work in this area. That's why I've asked the Department for Education to ensure that schools are not teaching inappropriate or contested content in RSHE. Our priority should always be the safety and well-being of children, and schools should also make curriculum content and materials available to parents. As a result of all of this, we are bringing forward a review of RSHE statutory guidance, and we'll start our consultation as soon as possible.
Justice Abdullah is a private legal practitioner and also a law lecturer.
Hey, I look like a mad gal today. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. I hope everybody is well. Let me continue. Yes. I hope everyone is well. Everyone, if you could please keep your microphones muted if you are not speaking. Someone asked, can this be recorded? Absolutely, it is. If you can keep your microphones muted, because it is really distracting. As you can see, I'm having a bad hair day. It needs to be blow dried out. But good evening, everyone. As you know, my knee, I fell over when I came in. So it's been a really, really rough afternoon for me. I can't lie. But we're here to discuss, number one, safeguarding with regards to our children in education. And also we have on the line, if you can quickly say hello, our young Queen Maria and her auntie are here this evening to also contribute to the discussion. I have a few other people online as well who are going to be contributing to the discussion. And obviously we want to hear from you as members of the community with regards to, I don't want this to be a complaint day where we complain and moan about the issues, because us as a community, we know what the issues are. We know what the issues are. We know what the solutions are, but what I want to know is what are we actually going to do about it? As you saw, and as you know, actually, Auntie and Maria, quickly chime in and say hello.
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 Look at her, she's all shy.
So these guys are not going to be sharing their, they're not going to be sharing their screen this evening, literally because obviously Maria is under the age. She's only 15. She is quite shy, funny enough. And also, there is a legal matter still taking place. So as you know, with regards to these things, we're limited on what we can say about the incident. Now, most of you actually saw that video that did go viral. And it was painful to watch for most of us, all of us. And I was being sent messages from around the world, including the Deputy Prime Minister of Kenya also sent a message sending her support and love to Maria and her family. If there's anything that can be done to support them, to let her know. I don't know how to contact her, but that was a message that was sent to us and I did forward to you guys as well, and you guys heard it. As well as that, that we were doing the GoFundMe to make sure that the support that Maria can receive here and after is, it can be funded, because a lot of people want to volunteer their time, but I'm a great believer in paying people for their time. So that's why I did the GoFundMe. And if you know anything about me, I'm not really a GoFundMe type of person. But in this situation, I thought it was well needed. And I'm sure a lot of you are aware of the one just before Christmas as well, where a young man who was autistic, semi-independent living, was beaten up in his home. His home was robbed. Everything was taken out that he had. And so I did a quick round, like 3 days before Christmas. I actually asked everyone to actually help and contribute. And I know I've gone a bit quiet on that, but that was really because we were in liaison with the family. His mum has deceased and his dad, no one knows where he is. So the family had basically contacted me from Grenada. So he's actually been sent to Grenada. We were able to buy clothes and things like that for him. And a lot was also donated that we were able to send out there with him too. So that's why I went quiet on that. And it was quite a sensitive subject. It broke my heart. So moving back over to tonight, the reason why I wanted to host this evening was one, to give you an update, which there's not that much I can say, as I said, with regards to what is happening with regards to Robert, was it Thomas Nevitt School? and what happened with regards to, you know, what's happening thereafter. So just so you know, well, then again, Auntie, you can probably let the community know what with regards to what you can say with regards to what's been put in place to support Maria. Please let everyone know what we've been battling for, and they've been quite willing to give.
Well, just to say, it's been a lot, to say the least, for all of us, really. And even having Cheryl there to be like a guiding light has been, honestly, because how do you navigate a situation like this? But with the school, we've very much gone full force, because yeah, this can't run. It's not. And to be honest, even the other day we were at the school and the principal was talking to us, and he went on his knee and he was just talking to us, and I was just looking at him like, what has this come to, kind of thing. But since then we've had meetings there. She's getting extra tutoring, which we've chosen with Love Literacy, that the school's funding. They're offering to get her transport to and from school every day until her very last exam. Until she is done with that school, they will be paying for her transport to and from school. The lessons, the tutors, we've asked for extra tuition and things, just a bunch of things that, yeah, needs to happen. But it's not like, there's so much more that needs to be done in general. It's not going to be enough. This is just we're sorry we got caught kind of thing, for me, in my eyes. So the red carpet being offered, it's nice, it's lovely, but she still has to attend that school. And when she does not attend in that school because we want her to, it's because she's in her last year of GCSE. She's got 3 months left. And yeah, she went back to school this week, didn't you? Mm-hmm. And she's breaking in, like she doesn't really have her same friendship group anymore, and just the little bits that, you know, is still a work in progress. So for us, the support we're getting and things like that, it's been really nice. But this is still very much a work in progress for us as a family. And, you know, yeah, we're truly humbled and we're grateful for everyone, really. We are.
Fantastic, brilliant. And just with regards to that, so we wanted to really have a wider discussion around this, because not long afterwards, after, you know, that happened, it's been about what happened. The attackers have been arrested, and that's the bit that we can't really talk about, because, you know, with regards to police investigations, we're limited on what we can say because we don't want to jeopardize the case. The only thing we can talk about is what's already in the public domain, which is what we've seen, which is the video, which is the mum shouting blue murder with regards to her daughter, kick her in the head, kick her in the face. You know, that's really all we can say with regards to that. The investigation itself, you know, with these things, it takes a while, it takes time. And also, Auntie, what happened with regards to, so those of you that follow my Instagram and Facebook, I put up a post where I had purchased the card. And I encouraged everybody to send cards or gifts or well wishes, whatever it may be. Did you guys receive them?
Go on.
Yeah, I received all the gifts and support from everyone.
Letters. Oh, it was, yeah. It was, so we had a meeting with the school, and yeah, just like before she went back to school. And that was the first time we saw the head teacher. This was like 3 weeks after. And just before we left, he gave us this bag that Cheryl had organized for everyone to just get in contact with the school and things. And yeah, there was just a bunch of letters in there, just some little bits and gifts for her. And yeah, she was, when we left that meeting, basically, she was smiling, and it was, yeah, it's amazing. Thank you to everyone who has, you know, go on, you tell them.
Thank you to everyone who has supported me. I'm very grateful for it.
We love that. Like to send a message to something to know it's fine. That's fine. We will try and organize. Well, you can still send it to the school, because then they have to send it to her. And the beauty of that is, is that they then will also see that our children, regardless of where we are, are not isolated. They're not alone. They have the support of the community. And what I do find is that a lot of people are not sure how to contact the child, how to contact the parent, how to contact the person that may need additional help and support. So with them, we just knew, because it was all over social media, to literally send it to the school. And we were like, are we sure that she's going to get it? And it's like, well, they have no choice but to give it up, but to send it to her. So we're really glad that everyone who did contribute to GoFundMe, everyone that did send well wishes to the school, and that you've got them all. So that was really, really important, because if they didn't, it would have been they would have been in trouble by me personally. All of us would have gone back down there. So, and also what we have to also give a big shout out to is as well Black British Parent, who utilized her platform up the night this happened, the day this happened. That the day this happened also, her platform's quite huge. If you want to follow her on Instagram to spread the word about this, we did several lives after what we saw took place. And also Respect and his team as well, who went down to school the next day unapologetically. Go on, and
I definitely want to touch base on that. Like for me, because like I keep saying, when I came down from Northampton, the day this fight happened, I came down, and yeah, we've got a big family, and we're very loving with each other and stuff. But when I came down, I didn't think I would have, like, for example, Respect, when I saw the live and the Black Child Agenda and the Black Parent and all it was just like, wow, like we've actually got aunties and uncles and big brothers and sisters out there who feel our pain. And it's unfortunate that it takes this to bring us together, but at the same time, I'm like beyond grateful. And like I said, with Respect, when he came out there and everybody that came out that day, like, wow, yeah, I'm grateful that as a community we can come together. But yeah, like I said, it's a shame that it has to be at the child of our hands suffering and all of that for us to really come together. But you know, it's a beginning, it's a start. And yeah, just thank you to all those individuals that stepped out and really showed us support. Like, it's kept this one smiling. You know, she was saying, tell them what you said earlier about the support and how it's helped your...
Well, at first, when the whole situation happened, I felt really down, because I was thinking, in a way, I'm going to go back to that school again, because everybody's seen the videos and they kept circulating the media and everything seen it. So I felt embarrassed and I felt like down. But then when I started seeing support, like Respect, the protests and everybody's opinions and telling me, oh, I'm a
soldier, child warrior,
it just boosted my confidence, and it just, you know, upped my mental health a bit.
Yeah, it kept her going, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, and I just want to say, and it's not something I'm going to go into, and, you know, I'm sure it will come to light, but she has been through a lot, you know, and as a family, we're glad we can be here for her now, kind of thing, before even this. But to the fact that this even happened to her, and the fact that she's had this level of support, it's more than you guys realize. It's cut deep in. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. And I was going to say, so Maria, you want to go on, you know, you're doing your exams now, which must be quite stressful for you. But what do you want to do with regards to completing your exams and moving forward?
Well, I wanted to go to college and study health and social care, because I wanted to go more into care business, like childcare and stuff, because I like children. So I thought I would just get started there.
And then go on to...
Yeah, and then just go on to more, maybe me to being a midwife.
A midwife?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And we need more of you like that, because we do in the community, with regards to Black women who are giving birth, are 5 times more likely to die during childbirth. So I believe if there's more young people, more nurses and midwives that look like us and actually understand us, but, you know, they don't believe that we actually feel pain. They don't believe we feel pain. So when a woman or a man is saying that they feel pain, they're ignored. And I'm a living testament to that. with my late husband who had sickle cell. And if anyone knows what sickle cell is like with a crisis, and you see a grown man of 6 foot something crying because they're in pain and they're telling them to shut up, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, I've seen how we can be treated. So even with regards to that, what do you need? Can you think of any other support that you may need to basically get you to where you need to be? Because like you said, your mental health had been affected. You are feeling a bit better. What do you see for yourself with regards to that?
Well, you've had your tuition with Zara. With Love Literacy, which you've said she had a tutor provided by the school.
The tutor that got provided by the school didn't really help, but the tutor that Zara was helping me, I really understand her. She did really help.
And she's been set up now until her very last exam with Love Literacy, which, like I said, Zara's been really helpful with that as well. And that's given her a bunch of confidence, because I know at school she's not really being supported, and she doesn't really like asking for much, because she feels like she doesn't want to ask questions. Basically, she doesn't want to look silly, which I say to her, listen, a question's a question. If you don't get it, you don't get it. But maybe that's another topic, the safe space, what's being provided for her, the teachers, what are they really doing, you know? But yeah, she's had Zara been helping her, and I can tell for myself, looking from the outside looking in, I can tell like she's been, her homework, she looks like she's enjoying it a bit more, like she gets it a bit more, you know, and just a little, like we say, the support, you guys, it helps so much more than you realize. It's like the morale boost, you know. And we wanted to get her counselling. She is going to get counselling. She doesn't feel like she needs it because she doesn't like talking, but that's also relates back to her past.
I don't feel like needing it from the school because I don't feel comfortable talking to the school counselling.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah,
it's different from school. I don't like it.
So yeah, we're thinking to get her a counsellor that she can like fully trust, somebody outside, independent of that. And just
Can I just say, because I'm watching the chat. And anyone who knows anyone that's trying to get on, we are full to capacity. Tell them to go to the Black Child Agenda YouTube page where it is being streamed live. In the chat, Shireen, who I know very well, has put up that she will offer counselling for free for Maria. So I've got Shireen's details, so I will share that with you after we finished here online as well.
Thank you.
You're most welcome, my dear. You're most welcome.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
And that's the part that I think is very important, even though I know she says that, you know, she's 15, you know, 15-year-olds, I don't need anything, I'm fine. But then later on down the line is when things start maybe coming back. So it's definitely worthwhile, you know, at least speaking to someone. And I agree with you, because when I also ask about counselling for our young people in the education system, they get just some random teacher that's not even qualified to come in and talk to the child, and they have no connection, no care, no love, no compassion, no understanding, but it's just a tick box exercise. Now, this isn't just specific to, you know, Thomas Nevitt, but as a wider conversation with regards to our children in the education system. Like I said, the following week, I was sent another video of some girls. So basically the backstory from what I understand is that these girls were being racially bullied in school. Again, sound familiar? These girls were being racially bullied in school, and the teachers thought it would be a great idea to put these girls into a classroom away from the bullies. Again, it was the traveller community, unfortunately. And with that, someone from that community actually found the key or found the code to get into that room, and then launched a full attack. About 20 of them launched an attack, and I think it was about 5 or 6 young Black girls in the classroom, and they literally went hammer and tongs attacking these girls. And then eventually a teacher came in, this is the funny bit, and was kind of more chastising the girls that had been victims of this attack. Then I would send, and I don't know if he's online this evening, a young man, let me just check your name, Kevin, whose daughter goes to Hendon School, another case of bullying that's been long-term, and her hair was also ripped out of her head by the roots. She had plaits in, and the hair was ripped out by the roots as well. So for me, as the director of the Black Child Agenda, one of the things, my knee is paining me so much. One of the things that I do find is that these attacks are not new. This is the only difference that we are seeing now is the fact that they're being captured on mobile phones. And as much as many schools don't like children to have mobile phones, there's a reason for that, I'm actually grateful and glad that this is coming out. These are the things that we deal with as an organization on a regular basis. Children having their locks ripped out their hair, bite marks in their face, being pushed down the stairs, standing in front of teachers being punched and kicked and called the N-word and monkey, children being put in isolation from 8:40 in the morning till 5:20 in the evening, and just left there. Sometimes they're forgotten about and they don't even get lunch. Every single day for a month. Children with hair that looks like mine, even though mine could be patted down a bit more, you know, told that their hair is unacceptable, that they can't attend school. Children with cane rows in their hair told that their hair is unacceptable and they can't attend school. And this is what's going on every day. I can't emphasize it enough. It is every single day within the schools, within the education system. Bullying. So as you saw, I tried to do a petition parliament last week, and it was with regards to bullying. It was a petition parliament to have more legislative change, because we know we have the Equalities Act and a few other acts, acts. The Equalities Act 2010 and so on and so on and so on. And with that, they're clearly not working for us because these things are going on every day. But the issue that it is that when I put the petition parliament with regards to the legislation around these sorts of issues, they denied my petition parliament. They said that I have to, they don't know what I'm asking for. And it was quite clear, putting tighter legislation around bullying, racism in schools, and disability discrimination. They said they don't understand what I'm asking for and that I have to ask for an investigation and a report. Now, we have reports coming out of every orifice of our everything. And the issue is that schools do not have to report bullying. Schools do not have to report racism. So if you have a school that does not record or report bullying or racism, then how is the government going to write a report on information that doesn't exist? It doesn't say that, it doesn't mean that it's not happening, but according to any report that they do decide to do, would say quite categorically that there's no issue with racism in schools. There's no issue with bullying in schools. So why would I then waste my time and your time trying to put together a petition parliament, getting up to 10,000 or 100,000 based on information that does not even exist because the schools do not have to report it? Make that make sense, family, please. And yes, with regards to the reporter, Daniel Henry, which I know a few of you online here have reported, have spoken to, because I've shared a lot of information on my knee. He is trying to put together some information or contact parents who have faced racist bullying, who have faced disability discrimination, who have faced just bullying generally. And I know with us as a community, we don't like to chat our business, but do you know what? It's not doing us any favors. Not speaking up, not speaking out, not taking action, it's not helping us. So sometimes we have to bite the bullet. And even if you want your child or yourself to be anonymous with regards to filming or anything like that, then I will suggest that you do that, because we have to have our voices. We're voiceless in the UK. We're voiceless, and every single day, children are being attacked, and then what they do is then they'll have a meeting with parents, and then they say, oh, well, no, you did this. So if the child defends themselves, then it's the child's fault for defending themselves, even though they've been bullied for the last 3 years and you've chosen to do nothing about it. The day that child decides to hit back All of a sudden, your child is now labelled aggressive, violent, a threat to staff, and then excluded permanently from school, sent to a PRU, and then we know what goes on in the PRUs. It's the school to prison pipeline in full effect. This is happening every single day. Black teachers are leaving the education profession in their droves because of racism, in their droves because of the ceiling, the glass ceiling, that is just almost impossible to be shattered. How do you have schools where you have the head teacher, then you have the chair of governors is the head teacher's wife, and then you have the secretary of that as the head teacher's daughter? Show me how that is fair and balanced. Because I hear a lot of people saying, become a governor, become a governor. Yes, that is a good thing to do. But I would also say to become an independent review panel member, because school governors are a critical friend to the school. So think of that. Shireen, unmute yourself and please allow us to hear about the service you provide, just in case anyone else online is going through this and may need your service. And I'll put you on the spot.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Shireen Barras. I'm a psychotherapist, and I deal with the Black community. That is, I believe that the therapy we need is different. And obviously, we need to think about children and families in all of that. And so the service I provide is for children and their families. I usually don't only work with the children, I work with the families, because it is important to not only help the children, but also having the things that are implemented, being implemented in the family as well. So we work cohesively. Essentially a trauma therapist, especially trauma within our community. And I work with both children and adults and families. And the name of my service is sabcounselingservices.com, www.sabcounselingservices.com. You can get through to me there. You can just send me an email, or my telephone number is 07984 754-308. What I will do is I'll put the link to the website in the chat, and then you guys can get in touch that way if you'd like.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Shireen. And if anyone's been to any of our events online before, I regularly have Shireen on because she's right. The insight is not just with regards to the child, but the whole family approach is something that sometimes we don't look at. We just seem to think that it's the child. So please definitely put your information in the chat, Shireen, so that people know.
And thank you as well for.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
No problem. So even with regards to you guys, and what do things look like for you guys at the moment? You know, that this has happened. We know that there's a police investigation going on. With regards to schooling, with regards to discrimination, have you ever heard before within that particular school or any others in the area that you reside of this type of violence or these types of things happening towards Black children?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even Maria is saying, yeah, like this is, she's the last out of 3. So my little sister went to that school, then her cousin went, and now she's going there as well. So her cousin left her there last year, and that she's now alone in that school, out of the family kind of thing. But there's been people there's a girl that had her hijab pulled off in that school and nothing really happened. There's like my nephew, he goes to the school not far down the road, and there's the same kid who's just been, he's called him the N-word here and there. He's like scratched his glasses for no goddamn reason whilst he's playing football. Like, and this child still attends the school, and it's always just a phone call to let us know, like, yeah, fine, you're letting us know, but what are you gonna do about it? Like, you're calling me, but what for? You know, and sometimes as well, it's just phone calls just to get them in trouble. But it's like, you're just thinking to yourself, so you're telling me you called me when you've got all these teachers what is your job at the end of the day, you know? Like, what are you being paid for? Why are you calling me to stress me out today about the littlest inconveniences? But when it's, for example, this situation, it's the lack of phone calls when you need the phone calls to happen kind of thing, you know? So yeah, in this area, they're not represented. There's been times when there's a girl, she came to the school as well. She was best friends with my little sister, and she got spat in her face and called the N-word again. Nothing happened to that kid. And that's the thing. It's like these kids do these things and then they come to class the next day and sit with you in the same class, and you're supposed to be calm. You're supposed to like just study and go on about your business. Like, you weren't just racially abused yesterday, you know, and they don't see it as, to them, quote unquote, there's different levels of racism, right? And to me, I'm thinking, what is your scale? What makes you say there's different levels of racism? You know, like racism is racism, and they don't see it as such. And it's only now that there's a camera that they're rolling out the red carpet, that there was a camera there, and now everybody can, because they've got extra security outside the school now.
Oh,
they didn't. Yeah, we went to the school last week, and there was this security that stands there every day. These black men, they stand there every day during the school hours, as well as their school staff. But this is not, they didn't even have their school staff beforehand, you know? So yeah, it definitely does happen in this area. It's not something that's considered serious because there's not a lot of kids of color in this area, you know? So yeah, it's just painful, and now it's gone too far. And it's like they were getting nice treatment from them now, but even then it's not enough. It's not enough. I'm sorry. Like, yeah.
Well, I'm just quickly looking at, what do you call this thing? YouTube, and Kimberly Jones is wonderful. Kimberly Jones is nothing. She didn't deserve any of it at all. Let me have a look at some of these messages. Very brave sister, beautiful little sis. Now to prevent, glad you are feeling brighter, Maria. What we witnessed on that video was traumatic to watch, let alone be the victim of. I'm so glad she is okay, and I'm proud she is an amazing young girl and will become an amazing young woman as well. So brave and so humble, and is dealing with this unbelievably well. And that's from Kimberly Jones. Harley Boo, cute name. Beautiful little sis. Black British parent, where you're supposed to be on here. I'm going to get you to, because I know it's full. So Black British parent says parents need to contact their LA and requesting that racism in school be reported. Patricia says, yes, this is true, and it has been going on for many, many years. Let's now find our voice. Stacey says, hi, Cheryl and all, hello. Queen H says, and because the school isn't doing anything, the perpetrators see that they can continue to bully and victimize our children. Kimberly says, people are saying it depends on the schools and depends on the area. Ow, my knee. The Let's Talk show counseling needs to be culturally appropriate. That's why it doesn't work. In school, we must do our own. Agreed there. Hold on, let me just scroll down because I don't want to forget you guys out here. When I talk to family, they don't believe this is going on in South London. Yeah, that is, oh, there you are, Debbie. That is very, very true. They when you just talk to anybody, they think that you're crazy because they don't understand that these sorts of things could be going on in 2023. Look, I can see. World Black Mental Health, you have your hands up. Give me a sec. Debbie Field Pello, Black British parent, are you online?
Yes, I'm here. Greetings, everyone. Good evening. Hope all is well with everybody. So I'm a bit late.
No, you're fine. Give us, because you're a home editor, and this isn't necessarily the reason why I got you to come on, but really just to, because, you know, from the day this started, you know, me, myself and yourself and RASPEC as well, and other agencies out there, we've been in communication, we've been, you know, just sharing, highlighting, etc., etc. What's your view or take on this? And if there's any organizations, agencies, you know, that may want to support Maria and her family, just fill us in. World Black Mental Health, I see you. Give me 1 minute.
Yes, I have links with a therapist, but obviously she, the young lady has been given a lot of support with therapy, but we're here and can support on that basis. Generally, yes, I've been home educating my children for the last 20 years. My eldest is 19, and have a 12-year-old and a soon-to-be 14-year-old. This is part of the reasons why I chose to home educate. I also understand that it's not for everybody, and not everybody is always in the position to be able to do so. Home education isn't easy. It's not something I necessarily go out of my way to recommend, because it takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of self-improvement as well, to be able to be the best parent and educator you can be for your children outside of doing like regular school hours. Unfortunately, this is something, as Cheryl has been saying, everybody has been hearing and has been going on hearing throughout this process, that this is nothing new. This is something that it's difficult to force people who haven't experienced what we've experienced to understand what it is that we have to experience in these institutions, right down to, I'm just speaking what everybody already knows, just highlighting what everybody is already aware of, but just the mere fact that the education system does not reflect the true history of our people is already the foundation of what kind of settings your children are going to be in. It's again part of the reasons why we chose to home educate, because we can actually teach our children as accurate as possible history and encourage them to ask questions and seek the information for themselves. Sis, I'm truly saddened that you've had to experience this. It sounds like you and your family are getting as much support as they can, and you're handling this very, very well. Even as an adult myself, unfortunately, the area that I live in, I've experienced racism myself, and it's not pleasant as a grown adult having to experience this, let alone as a young lady in a school where you are supposed to be protected whilst being educated. But yeah, anything else I can do to assist, you can get my details through Cheryl. And usually when it comes to things like this, I normally refer people to Cheryl Phoenix, the Black Child Agenda. So I don't know what to say there, but yeah, I'm open to questions if anyone wants to ask me. So
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Hear me saying it. Who's that? World Black Mental Health. You have your hand up. Please lower it now, but you can unmute yourself and please contribute. Oh, they've gone. Oh.
Hello, I'm here. I just lowered. Greetings and thank you for having this platform today. And I wanted to just say to the family how our heartfelt thoughts and wishes are with them.
We really appreciate it.
Yes, yes, yes. And I'm from Canada. I just pulled over. We have a snowstorm here. So I will be pretty quick and I'll just listen. The pervasiveness of what is jumping out here is absolutely scathing. Absolutely scathing. So deep bow to you, all of you that are doing work in this space. Question, what are the essential collaborations that you think need to happen moving forward in this community to be proactive about this, as opposed to having to respond to these situations all the time?
Is that directed at me?
Anyone that's on the panel,
because
definitely.
I tell you what it is. It's interesting because it's something that I have been screaming about for a while, where we are very reactive. We see something, we react, we're enraged for 5 minutes or give it a week, and then we go back to the same types of, our children still go back to be abused. I know parents have to work. There's a lot. So I deliberately the other day waited for all of the stuff to die down. 5 young Black men found hanged throughout the UK or London and nothing said. 5 dead, nothing said. What's happened to Maria? What happened to the other child a week later? What happened to this smaller child who looks like they're no more than 6 years old a week later? Children being stabbed, police harassment, Black women dying in the in hospitals, mental health going off the charts, off the chain, children being bullied. It's just continuous. And then we see a headline, child Q You know, the young black boy that was being bullied in school for ages and lost his finger, had to be amputated because he was trying to get away from his bullies. You know, so that question is very pertinent, and I've been posting from since 2021 because our organization firefights, literally we firefight. Cases come to us, we deal with it, we hopefully get a win, then we move on to the next. And that's literally, it's like a conveyor belt. So I did put up a post. I said in 2021, we need to take them out. We need to take them out. And I'm sure many of you have seen the latest video I did saying the same thing. We need to take them out. I will tell you this. I have had no response to people saying, besides myself and Debbie and others speaking, that they want to do something different or do something like that. I then put up another post saying, now I have over 10,000 people on my Instagram, God knows how many thousands on Facebook, and about 15,000 on TikTok. I put up another post saying, let's get organized, let's go for legislative change, let's do something, let's call on our churches so we can utilize their buildings, so we can do something, so we can show the government that we're going to hit them where it hurts in the pocket. Because even though the schools are academies, they're still being funded by central government, okay? And every child has a price tag on their head. Yet again, I had 5 responses of people actually taking this seriously. Now, this is a year in and year out thing. So I know there's organizations out there doing the work. And to be fair, we're so, like, everybody very, very busy. To reach out to everybody at one time is almost impossible. But we need our own organization, umbrella group that takes care of mental health, the NHS and things, that takes care of education, so that if there is an issue, this organization can then come into government to be the spokesperson and say, listen, we ain't having this. We need to put our resources. The one thing we don't like to do is put money down because we're scared someone's going to run off. Back in the day, it was to buy a BMW. But at the end of the day, nothing else is working. So we need to get organized. We need institutions. We need to build institutions of our own, because I think we're the only people in this country that don't necessarily have institutions. Every other nationality, whether it's through funding, whether it's through business, whether it's through campaigning, through politics, are coming together and organizing and demanding and commanding respect, first of all, and also making sure that their most prized possessions, their children, are looked after, are not hurt, they're not harmed. Why is it that racism isn't a safeguarding issue? Why is racism not something that is a safeguarding concern that the police could be called to a school by a parent to have these people arrested? Because racism is a criminal offense, right?
Absolutely. We're also into pattern and practice investigations in the space. And I get that certain individuals, frontline workers, are restricted by sometimes broad collective bargaining agreements.
Yeah.
And that kind of comes in the way. What I want to probably offer or ask if, and I spoke with DJ Harvey about this as well and a couple of other people, can there be a task force developed to attack these issues and these pattern and practices within the government? Who are the funded organizations that are getting money that could at least throw, 100 pounds towards an initiative like this? How can that happen? Can we bring all of these organizations together there?
Here's hoping. All right, sis, thank you very much for putting that on the table to start the ball rolling on just a conversation. High achievers, then Sonia, then Debbie, then Shireen again. Yeah, because I'm just looking at how it's appearing on my screen. It's not being selective. So high achievers, please state your point. If you can lower your hand as well, just so I don't get confused, it would be really great. Thank you.
Hi, Cheryl. Thank you for putting this up again. It's Yemisi.
Hi, Yemisi.
Hi, Maria, our beautiful, beautiful daughter. Thank you for being an amazing young woman. You fought a good fight. We are all very proud of you. We really are.
Thank you.
You just sent my blood boiling, honestly. And I'm just so grateful to God for your life. So well done to you and well done to your family. Cheryl, thank you very much. Now, Maria, I'm speaking to you directly on this. What happened shouldn't have happened, but it happened. and it was for a reason and for a purpose. Because of you that we're all on this platform this evening, and it's because of you that there will be change. I mean, this has happened to many, many people, but you stood out. There's a purpose for your life, and it will come to fruition. Now, I've been speaking with Cheryl, Auntie Cheryl to us. I've been speaking to Auntie Cheryl about what we can do. And thank you to everyone who's supported mental health issues, counseling, and the whole lot of it, the tutoring. I'm so, so grateful. I see Maria as my daughter, as indeed all of us do now. I've got 4 children of my own. I've got 4 grandchildren. They're all graduates. They all went to the independent school, including the grandkids. They all attended independent schools. One of the things that I was intentional about my children, because I know what this system can do. I was born in England, and I was taken to Nigeria as a child, right about maybe age 5, came back at 16 to do A-levels, and I immediately knew that it's not a society that my children will thrive in if I don't do something about their education. And I worked all hours to ensure that my children went to the independent schools. I took advantage of the assisted place that Margaret Thatcher had in place at the time. I did cleaning jobs, I did everything you can think of, just so much so I could afford the bursary to support. I didn't have to pay full fees, I still had to pay something, but I did everything that I could do to make that happen. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because it wasn't just for my children, it was for every other child that I believed should have that opportunity. And what I then did is I went into education. So now I'm a lawyer and I'm an education consultant. I did all this through. I was a teenage mother. I had my first child as a teenager. I don't regret it. I'm proud of it, because today I know that if I hadn't gone through those challenges, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. And that's to encourage every young person that is out there listening to this as well. Don't think because you had a child earlier on in your years, it's finished. It's not. It's the beginning of things. So Maria, what I have done for many, many, many children in this country, supporting them, getting them into top independent schools on full bursary, 100% bursary, is what I've been out there fighting for you. And I've spoken to as many schools as I can. I'm privileged to have all these schools on my portfolio, and I just had to reach out to them, and I cried out to them, and I showed them the video, and I told them this is totally, totally unacceptable. This cannot continue. She cannot remain in that system. She needs to get out of it. How do you support me, and how do you support Maria? And I can say to you that there are people out there who have got a heart, and a few schools have come back to me to say, you know what, we want to help. Where do we start? Now, I didn't have an answer to where do we start. That's why I reached out. I looked for everybody.
Truly speechless right now, honestly.
Yeah, well,
thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Maria, honestly, I heard what you said.
Thank you.
She's just here smiling from ear to ear.
Maria, listen, I'm smiling with you. My children are smiling with you. You got big sisters and big brothers out here. We're all smiling with you. And what I'm going to say to you is, I love the fact that you want to go into midwifery, but you're going to have career counseling as well as mental counseling. You will have career counseling. You will look at different options for you. The moment I saw this, the first thing I said is, that's a human rights lawyer right there. I'm not saying don't go to midwifery, but that's what my spirit is saying. That's a human rights lawyer. You will fight for the many Marias that are out there.
Yes.
Definitely. Yes, you will. You will fight for them.
Absolutely.
Make sure that happens. So by God's grace, we will get you into a top independent school for your A-levels. I want you to work as hard as you can, get the best GCSE grades that you can, but it's not conditional on you getting into this school. But you make sure you do the best that you can. I know you will. You've got lots of support around you. Take advantage of it. Do not let that video, that video had to go viral. If it didn't go viral, we wouldn't have seen it.
Yes.
This group wouldn't have seen it. Cheryl wouldn't have seen it. But we needed to see it. God wanted us to see it so that we can support you. So tonight, go to bed feeling happy, knowing fully well that you're a child of God. You were born for that attack, trust me, because Jesus himself was attacked, and that's why we're all claiming him today. So you are Jesus.
Her mum lives back in Ivory Coast, and
fantastic.
She hasn't even seen her in like what?
4 years.
Wow!
4 years.
Don't worry, you will see your mom. Your mom will see you soon. Trust me.
And she even when we tell her all of this, like even if when I go back to her tonight, I know she's gonna be up in Africa celebrating.
Absolutely.
And
I just came back from East Africa actually. I just came back from Burundi and from Rwanda, where I went to do missionary work. And you know what?
We've got family from there.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Well, I'm going to leave
thank you
so other people can speak. Cheryl's got my details that I've asked her to send to you guys. Please connect. Let me get my baby into the right environment. We will support her, whatever. You know what? I'm just so grateful that she's got a big team behind her. I actually said I'm ready to adopt her. I promise you that. I was so paid, honestly, because there was news going on about she's a looked after child. I said, I don't care. I'm going to look after her. I'm going to adopt her if I have to.
Let's just say she's back home now. She's back.
She's home and she's staying home.
Yes, she is. She is in the right hands. She is in the right hands. And we're even grateful now that there's an even bigger family out there. So
100%, 100%. So that's me, and I want to say thank you so much, Cheryl. I love you. I love you. I love you for what
Cheryl,
you're doing.
Really, this woman is amazing.
Put high achievers down for that group that you want to set up for whatever we need to be doing. My law firm supports everything and anything to do with children's education. And when they want to discriminate against them, that's what we fight for. That's what I went back to school to do. So yeah, we're there for these children. We're there for these children. So thank you so much, Maria. I love you.
Thank you, sis. Thank you. Everyone, please put some fire signs in the chat so that we can see. Get fire signs up, because why?
Oh wow.
Why? This is what we're talking about.
It's just amazing, honestly.
It's yeah, literally. Oh, that's a nice fire sign. Sonia.
Hi, Cheryl. Hi, everyone. The last speaker, thank you so much, ma'am. That was very, very inspiring. And to Maria, I just wanted to know that you are loved, and we are all rooting for you. And Cheryl, thank you so much for setting this up. I don't know where you have been all my life. I'm just finding out about you. I don't know. I found out about you from MBB group on WhatsApp. They shared it yesterday, and I was very, very curious to find out what was going to happen today. I was a trained teacher in the UK, and when we're talking about racism, it's been systematic, and I can speak from experience that I left teaching 6 years ago after doing 8 years because of things like this. I went into a stage of having anxiety, panic attack, and everything. And it felt so isolated. I had to, when something happened, you have to get into a fight, freeze, or a situation. I had to fight them with everything, use everything I have to, to almost take them to court before everything were resolved. And I got fed up. So I left teaching, not because of the children, but because of the systematic bullying, intimidation, and everything. So having said that, I'm just offering my support, because now I'm now a life coach and a trainee counselor as well. So Cheryl, I'm just putting it out there. If there's anywhere that I can support your organization in terms of my skills, just lending my support out there. This is what we should be doing as a community, because together we are stronger. But when we are divided, then we are not. Because I did homeschooling for my children for 2.5 years. It felt really, really isolated when people are saying, take them out. with the Black community, we are not really into that stuff. So when you take them out, I know there are people out there, there are few people out there that are doing it, but it feels really, really isolated because I live in the Northwest in Bolton. There was not really much support, and it was very, very expensive to maintain it, to ensure that the children are actually getting the best and they are not falling behind in any way, shape, or form. So I had to take them back when the oldest is getting ready to be in year 11 and the other one in year 6. So even though we're shouting, take them out, but we are not together. We don't want to be isolated. You don't want your children to be isolated as well. So this is the reason why people are not taking that. But together, when we come together, pull all our resources together, I'm sure we'll be able to do greater things. Thank you so much, Sherry. I yield my mic. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you. Put your hand down for me, please, just so I don't get confused. Shireen.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to respond to a few different things. First of all, Sister Maria, you are an incredible inspiration, yeah, just really grateful that you are safe and well and you've got plenty of support. And I think it's your aunt that's with you. You spoke amazing.
I'm her cousin. My aunt is not, well, our aunt is not here, but yeah, I'm her cousin.
Apologies. I think, yeah, I think you spoke before on a couple of videos. So yeah, just really grateful that you have been able to support her throughout this time.
Yeah.
But yeah, just really want to, you know, hope for the best that, you know, you get the outcome you're looking for. And I understand you want to be a midwife, Maria. So, you know, all the very best to you in that. And as Cheryl has actually said, we do need more support from our community in such a profession. So it's a great profession to go into. The other thing I wanted to say was, you know, I have recently sadly had an experience with my own daughter who is actually in year 4. And interestingly enough, the First Lady who spoke a few minutes ago says that she put her children through private school. Well, I also have been putting my daughter through very expensive private schools and sent her to the best since nursery that I could afford. And sadly, I've had to withdraw her in November, December period for a similar attack, actually. Fortunately, her hair wasn't torn from her head, but a boy did attack her and her hair was yanked and she fell. Teacher tried to turn it.
So sorry to hear this, really.
Yes, thank you. And there were racist comments. There was, you know, a very inappropriate couple of incidents where she was touched inappropriately, and they began to sort of turn it around and make it as though, you know, she needs the support. Well, you know, I work with families in family law, and when I began to hear that kind of language, I wasn't comfortable with that. So I removed her because I could see the trajectory that, you know, the direction they were going in. And I just felt that it would be more harmful to keep her in that system. And also they were sort of doing things like trying to keep her behind in areas such as maths, where she naturally excels and always has. But the final thing I wanted to say to you, Cheryl, and others who are more of the sort of progressive mindset of what we can do, if you look at the LGBT, all the rest of the other letters that they've added to it now, movement, if you have a more in-depth look, you will see that there's actually a lot of lobbying that has been put behind it. So if people are trying to understand why there is such powerful momentum enabling this to progress with such rigor and drive and force, it's because there is strong lobbying. With the lobbying, obviously, we're talking about money, really. So we're talking about organisations such as Stonewall, etc. And really, that's the place that we need to get to. They do not care about our cries. They do not care about our plight. You know, I was infuriated to read that the Education Secretary has responded and said that they have no interest in changing legislation to meet the needs of, you know, young people such as yourself, Maria, and other young children who have experienced such attacks in schools around the country. So clearly there isn't a priority to make the change. But, you know, I know that really great people in the community are doing amazing things. And obviously Cheryl is constantly putting out fires, and, you know, I'm blown away by her work. But I also know that there are others as well. And we've got some good minds like Dean Okai Senior, for example, who have spoken at length about our community coming together, you know, perhaps doing tax write-offs, etc., so that money can be driven, because that's how other communities actually do it. So those are the kinds of conversations that need to happen. We need to have more people who are in seats of power, whether that be chairing positions, have more involvement with local governments, things like that. So where we have a voice and we can influence change, but really assemble ourselves now where money is involved. And you know, Cheryl has spoken about it at length a number of times, and she's absolutely right. Nothing is going to happen unless there is money, and that's a driving force. You can see how many changes they've made and the way they've been able to get people to do things in this country, and it's all because of money. And that's it. I close. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shireen. Thank you for your contribution. Definitely appreciated. Yeah, I don't even have anything to add. I don't need to, because you just said it. Debbie, Black British parent. Shireen, if you don't mind, could you please put down your hand just so I don't get confused if anyone else wants to contribute as well? Thank you. Debbie, what did you want to add?
Yeah, I'm a lot of great points have been made, and these are points that have been made for years. I just want to make a point of saying, keep repeating the word point, that we've had many people working on the injustices that our people have undergone through this in this country for decades. So this isn't a new fight. The issue is that we now have social media. Not that's an issue, it's bringing us together. But I think we need to be able to start having some private conversations and us coming together really as a unity and putting our differences aside so we can actually work on this. We have so many different organizations that are working in different areas, and they're all very much needed. But I think it's certainly important that we start having private conversations so it's not so exposed, and we can really form a really tight foundation that no one else can shake, because all the previous efforts have been broken because of infiltrators, because of so-called, for better word, sellouts, etc. So I think I'm happy to, I'm in a process personally, our organization is in a process of putting something together where we're working as a sort of spider web network and connecting all of us together. But the thing is, we have so many different voices, and it's hard to hear all the voices without it all sounding like noise. So we need to be able to somehow figure this out, and that's something we're trying to work on. So you guys can see my details on my picture when I change back to the frozen picture. And if you're about working on that kind of basis, and we have like hearts, it's not necessarily about like minds. Yes, we need the intelligence, but we need to be able to connect on a spiritual and soulful level, so we're able to speak from, you know, a similar kind of voice and address the issues that we need to be addressing as a community instead of all of this division. I think that's the thing, because everybody's saying there's many similarities in what's being said, but when it comes down to it, like Cheryl was saying, we keep getting these knee-jerk reactions and everyone jumps on the situation until it dies down, and then it's another issue that we're having to deal with, and we're just like constantly reacting in emotion. And we do need the emotion, yeah, we need the anger, we need the frustration, we need all of that, but it can't die down. So guys, if you want to contact us, please do. or you can contact us through the Black Child Agenda. I know she's already inundated and overwhelmed, so I don't want to put that kind of pressure on Cheryl, but we're in the midst of working on that alongside other organizations too. So I just wanted to put that there.
Fantastic, I love that. And yes, because myself and Debbie have had quite a lot of conversations around this particular point of coming together. And as Shireen said, there are other people out there that have tried. And sorry, let me just turn back on my camera, that have tried. And it's frustrating. I can't lie, I'm very, very frustrated with us as a community, with our apathy, with our selective rage. Because we also have an issue with our children who are killing each other on the streets. And quite rightly, a few people have said, well, what are we doing about young people that are stabbing each other? What are we doing? We're enraged when the police do something, but we're not enraged when we hear another young brother has stabbed another young brother. And even with that, when we look at the mental health and healing within our community, and a child has experienced that their brother, cousin, friend, or peer has been murdered on the streets of London, and they're expected to go back to school the next day and sit down and not act up. When our children are suffering from bereavement with their family members or anything, and there's nothing, you know, having to wait on the school, having to wait on is a constant. And it's like, well, I should be able to, as the Black Child Agenda, say, no, here we go, And right now, I overwhelm people like Shireen with, oh, are you available? Is this, can you do this? Can you do that? And she's always like, yep, I can do it, sis. Yep. Or if she can't, she will divert me to somebody else that can. Even with myself, if there's something that we can't do as an organization, we will divert people to someone that can. But the fact is, there needs to be something. We need to be serious about this, because what happened to Maria, yes, it's been happening for years. Yes, it's going to continue to happen because they do not take us seriously. They think we are a joke. And to be honest, I can't blame them, because we're not taking this seriously. These are our babies. These children have only been on the planet 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And we're expecting them to be able to know how to navigate a system that we ourselves have only just learned how to navigate. Our parents did the best that they could with what they had and what they understood and knew. Many of them couldn't even read or write, but they still managed to buy a house with their partner money. They still managed to have a social setting for each other, because they were being spat at and bullied on the streets of London, Birmingham, Bristol, Coventry, wherever, on a daily basis. They had that, so that way their mental health wasn't as affected as a lot of our children are. Why is it that Black children's mental health is going through the roof? Out of 10 cases I get, at least 8.5 to 9 is a child that is suffering with some kind of SEMH. At least. So it's on the rise. And unfortunately, unless we're protecting each other, unless we're holding those that hold community spaces to account locally, to say we need, not that we're going to pay you £95 an hour, especially with the churches, especially with community, what do they call them? You know, in every area, there's a community center. These community centers are there for you. If you live in that area, they have to give you it if it's benefiting the community that you live in. I've done it with my children. My children are now adults. But when they were smaller and I saw what was going on locally, I said, no. And I set up a youth club. We had 185 children every single week. I didn't even know whether I was coming or going, but they were not on the streets. There was no violence. Even the police came and visited us and said, well, crime has gone down in the area. They came and donated laptops to community liaison officers, whatever. But at the end of the day, if I didn't put in that work, then how can I then sit and complain that the government isn't doing? There needs to be a multi-pronged approach, like what Debbie just said with regards to us collectively coming together, like what Shireen said, like what the other lady said. You know, we need to have different spheres of legal. We need to also have community-based. We need to also have our Black men mentoring our sons and our daughters. We need to have things where we can take our children away, not just in England, but to Africa, the Caribbean, on short trips. We need to pool our money together to be able to take them out of a system that has constantly been oppressing us and was never built for us. We all know that. We all debate what Marcus Garvey said, Malcolm X said, Haile Selassie, and everybody else. Yes, we get it. But what are we actually doing to action these points? What are we actually doing to protect the women, the children, and the men in our community? What are we actually physically doing? Why are we not taking this seriously enough? Does it have to be one of our children that we birthed out of our wombs before we take that seriously? Because that's where I'm at right now. I'm at a place of, I've done the Black Child Agenda for 13 years, and I'm at a space and a place of, I'm tired. I'm really tired, because no matter how many times I've put information out, no matter how many times I said, this is what's coming, I normally will get shouted down, accosted, berated. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just a race baiter. And that's even from our own community. So I get that. And then everything I've said, we are living right now. We are seeing right now. The LGBTQI alphabet agenda is off the chain, okay? And as Shireen said, it's because they drive, but there's a lot of money behind it as well, and it's not just from them. So for us, by us, solutions is what needs to take place. Please, anybody that's in the chat, what solutions do you have? What solution do you have? What does your organization, I want to hear what your organization does and how you're willing to work together to pool your resources, to pool your work, where you're based, whether you're London or anywhere else. What is it? How can we capture your details and then find a way of working together? That's how I want to leave here this evening. Please can you mute your mic unless you are going to be speaking. How can we do this? What are we going to do this evening? What are we going to able to commit to? And I know everyone's working crazy hours. I know everyone has a full-time job. I know everyone has, you know, disabilities, all the rest, but even with your disability, your phone works. Even with your disability, your fingers may work if you have them. Even with your working 9 to 5, you have a spare hour. If it's not during the week, then maybe you can find an hour on a Sunday when it's that kind of downtime, or maybe you spend not too much time with the family. Find an hour, find something, because this, when we leave here as the adults, what have we left behind for our children? Because we're not going to be here forever. I'm only 21, but I'm talking about for all of you older people out there. What are we going to leave that's set in stone? How many people can go and do some research around trusts that we can leave these things so it cannot be dismantled by the enemy? How many people know about cooperative unions so it cannot be dismantled by the enemy? How many people know what legislative change or what legislation is there and understands it, that they can support us writing a paper? How many people know, like, how many people can do the research around that? This is the kind of proactive talk that I think 2023, we're at a space and a place, we're all highly educated, whether you have a degree or not, to be able to say, do you know what? Yeah, I'm very good at research. I'm very good at writing. I'm very good at bid writing. I'm very good at finding spaces that we can actually hold in-person meetings. I'm very good at maybe babysitting all the children on a Saturday afternoon so single parents can have a break. Do you understand what I'm saying? Who has their hand up? Sang-Sun SM, please introduce yourself. Put that, lower your hands, please, so that I don't get confused. Please introduce yourself and contribute to the discussion. Thank you. Samsung, I don't know your name because your name hasn't come up. And then I'm going to go to the YouTube. Sorry, YouTubers, I haven't forgotten you. I was just reading your messages. I'm going to read them out in just a second. Samsung with the kind of brown background, you need, I don't know what your name is because your name hasn't come up on your thing. So if you don't mind, let me just tell you to unmute so that you know that I'm talking to you. There you go. So please unmute your mic and contribute to the discussion. We can't hear you because you're muted. All right, whilst you're doing that, let me go over to Debbie again. Debbie, you have your hands up again. Please contribute.
Yeah, I'm going to say that I've got access to a space where we can have private conversations. It's Black-owned space as well. And obviously a broad network of collectives of people, of organizations, so we can bring them all together and have these conversations. So I got space. Well, not me personally, but I got access to space.
And that's what we're talking about. Thank you. Right, Madame Zansal, I can see you on the screen.
Oh, sorry, apologizes, everyone. I've had an incredibly busy day. I hear absolutely everything. By the way, my name's Shirley. I'm a mother of 3. All my children are grown. I've been quite emotional listening to everything that everybody's been saying tonight. I feel really fearful for our Black kids these days. My daughter currently homeschools her eldest son, and apologies for the lady who was talking about the SAFE platform. My daughter's created, and her partner, a SAFE platform called COCA. I don't know if any of you have heard about it. They've worked tirelessly on this platform. I don't know what it is about Black people per se. When there is something creative that is a safe space, it's an incredible space for everybody to get under one roof, to talk, to share ideas, to collectively get together. They have struggled to get people onto this platform. All I will say is, it is amazing. Everybody, if you leave tonight, need to just go on, link on to COCA, and you will see the incredible work that they are trying to do. Because, as you were saying, I don't want one of my grandkids to be killed or murdered on these streets that we have got going on today in school. My grandson was bullied in school. My other grandson, who is 7, has to navigate going to school every day, and things that kids are saying over and over and over again. I go to work and it's awful for me, and as an adult, when you have to navigate in the workplace, how are these young kids meant to be able to do it? You are absolutely right. I will leave my details. I'm absolutely passionate about doing something. The other thing I want to say is, when our children, I've worked in the childcare industry for many, many, many years as a senior manager, and I had to come out of it in the end, because the problem that we have in that industry, it's majority of the people that work in the childcare industry are white. Our children are not represented when you're taking your children into that environment, because we all have to work. Many of us don't have a choice. When they're going into this environment where they are surrounded by white people that do not even understand that if the child has got dry skin and their parent has said, please, can you put some Vaseline on their skin because their skin gets dry, they don't even know why they're doing it, or they won't do it at all. And that's the kind of thing that those sorts of things cannot go on. We're putting, from a young age, that's what children have to put up with. They're not interested in taking care of our children. We have to take care of them ourselves as a community. That's all I've got to say. I don't know if anybody agrees with me out there. I'm sure you do. But please do. I think it's just coming up now on the screen. I don't know if Simone's around. I don't know if she wants to jump in, if you'll allow her to. But that's all I need to say. Thank you for listening to me. And you guys that are working so hard, I take my hats off to you. Anything I can do to help, I will. That's me.
Thank you. Is this the COCA app that you're talking about? Can you see it?
Yeah, that's it.
Right. So everyone find, and are you online?
Her name's Simone. If you shout out to her, she might hear you. I don't know. She is online.
Because they were invited this evening to actually give a little talk around this app.
Can you hear me, Cheryl?
Oh, there you are. Yes, I can.
Hi, Cheryl. Simone here. How are you?
So please let people know what you're doing, just as concise as what you can with regards to the app and why people should join it, because like we all know, none of these apps belong to us. So we're one that's for us by us is great.
Thank you ever so much, firstly, for creating this this space for us today. It's really important that we have somewhere where we can obviously discuss, and it's really important to hear everybody's opinions and hear everything that you're doing. So I just firstly want to say thank you to you, Cheryl. As the lady before said, my name is Simone, and myself and my partner Tony, we are the creators of a social networking platform called COCA, which is COCAA. Now, I know that for a lot of you, you might be wondering, you know, what does this mean? Is it social media? So yes, we do lead with the social media element, but we have developed a networking app for the Black community. We are similar to Facebook, but we do have our own unique way of using our features and putting our information across. So we do have additional features such as courses, where you can create courses so you can sell, make yourself some extra money. But also for any budding writers, we also have sections for blogging where you can obviously explore the features and get creative. But there are many other features on there. Now, I will say, Cheryl, just before I carry on, so I knew that we were coming on here today. So we do have like the bullet points of what the platform does, because it is similar to many other social media platforms out there. But just following on from what's been said so far, there's two key elements. One element is getting us all into one space. And the reason why we created this platform was because we all need to have one central resource hub where we all know where we can go. Because one thing I'm sick of is all of us, we don't have many options, but we're all having to use these platforms that were actually not even created or designed for us. They can't block racial abuse. They can't block if somebody comes on and wants to make a negative comment to us. And we are very vulnerable on these platforms, such as Facebook, such as the Instagrams. But I appreciate and understand that is the way for us to kind of get our word out there to a mass audience. And that is why we created COCA, so that we have a space where we can be educating each other. We can network, we can socialize, we can promote our business, we can start creating some kind of infrastructure, but use this online platform to be able to do so. The other element, obviously, like you were saying, is finance, is money. So at the moment, there is 230 billion pounds out there in advertising money that other platforms, social media platforms, are getting their hands on. And we need to get a slice of this pie, because that is going to be a great way for us to generate revenue. So the more people that we can get onto COCA, the bigger that our platform will grow, the more generation of money that we can create, and the more revenue we can create through the advertising. And then that money can be pumped directly back into the community. We are registered as a CIC, and that means that we have to be pumping all of that money back into the community. So CIC, limited by guarantee. So no individual that's part of COCA can be taking any profits from any activity. And we want to make sure that that money that is generated through the advertising, and we're talking big money, everything that we need to do in this community is not going to take small fries. It's not going to be small money. We need proper money, so that everything that you're talking about and other organizations, we can actually pump it back into it and actually make some proper change, not small change. We need structural change. And that is what COCA is about. We need everybody on this platform. So all you need to do, you can either download the app. So you just go into your app store, you type in COCA, COCAA, it will come up and you just download it, whether you're on Android or iPhone. And equally, if you want to do it via the website, you just go to www.coca.co.uk, and then you can sign up that way. And once you're in there, you will be able to see there's so many different groups that you can join. If anybody out there that wants to put their application in for the Windrush compensation scheme, we've got Katie Downey that's on there. She is fantastic. She can guide you, give you all the information. You can do go to her and ask her questions. There is a plethora of information on there, but there needs to be more, and we need to get our people on this platform. When we talk about one central resource hub, we can become that. There is no point of us having 1,001 organizations out there. We all need to pull together and put everything else aside and do this for our children, because we are worried about their future and we need to do something now.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you came on to share that, because it is something that is needed. I've been banned on Facebook, Instagram so many times, so many times, for just speaking the truth. So, excuse me, we do need a space where we can share and be comfortable in what we're sharing and know that we're not going to be banned because we're talking the truth about what's going on in our community. And thank you for Zara, who has shared all of our links, the Black Child Agenda, SAB Counselling, Black British Parent, COCA, National Black Parents Association, that's Nia and Mara. Most of you know him. He's got an amazing website as well that has a list of all supplementary education and such like. So that's definitely very much appreciated. Where was I going to go? I can hear someone clicking in the background. Let me just jump over to YouTube, where there are a lot of people online. And I'm going to be putting the complaint into the LA. This is from Stacey. I'm going to be putting in a complaint into the LA for AJ College, as we have autism to consider on top of Black and male. Godjul user says, great to see all this support for this beautiful young girl. Lovely to hear her voice. Kimberly says, unfortunately, we are in the hundreds, maybe thousands, but a lot are still asleep and we need millions. Yeah, there are millions of us out here. That's the thing. Unity is strength from Jennifer J. Unity is strength. If there's anything I can do, please let me know. I send all my love and healing to this young, beautiful school lady. I am open to volunteer in any way to help this cause. Who else? Black British Parents says 100. Beautiful. Some local authorities have a way of passing the responsibility of racist complaints to the Secretary of State for Education. It's vital to have our own advocate organization to support Black families. Dion Rose 01 says, yes, we are very reactive and do a lot of talking. Let's have it. Academic means of no value. Yes, very proud. Vanessa says, phenomenal achievement, sis. Kimberly again. Kimberly, you're very active this evening. It's all about knowing who you are, standing up for your rights, correcting your status and self-education, especially in law, as this is how we prevail. And Afua says, there is enough Black institutions in the UK who can strategically come together. What else is there? This is love. Black British Parent with the fires. Jennifer says, Yemisi, absolutely fantastic. You're a great spirit. You're proof that, as I said before, unity is strength.
Cheryl, sorry to cut you. I think there's somebody's account is unmuted. If you want to add me to managing, I can, silence anything if you want.
Hold on, let me go down. There we go. Ooh, how do I do this? Me and this thing. Let me scroll down. Speak again, Debbie, so you come back up to the top.
Swoop in and save me. What's wrong with that? I'm your fiance. I would feel.
You just muted me now. I don't know. I've unmuted.
Hold on.
Okay, yeah.
Make co-host. There you are.
Thanks. All right, cool.
Thank you. Let me just go back to the YouTubers. What else have we got here? Caroline Thomas Ashanti, fire. Mitchie, fire. Peter G, fire. Caroline Thomas Ashanti, fire, 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 fire. Everybody else, throw up the fire. I pray child A grows from strength to strength, so disgusted by what has happened to you. You are a queen and always will be. Allow no one to diminish you. Absolutely. Vanessa says, hey, it's just jumped. Vanessa Stevens says, sorry to hear of your trauma. As a teacher in educational systems, sis, more power to our people, how resolute we are, great vibrations, may positivity prevail. Afua has given a list of some organizations: blackequity.org, Ubele Initiative, Black Thrive, ADPAC, Black British Network, Black Wall Street Media, BYP Network. The orgs are in place to collectively tackle wider detriment of health. Dawn Allen says, good evening, everyone. My name is Councillor Dawn Allen Williamson. Please be strong. Our God is a miracle working God. I have seen the news. Merit Herrott says, a suggestion, a Black child parent committee for every UK school led and run by the Black parents and Black alumni from the school. They can call the head teacher to be held accountable. Not to mention the plethora of Black councillors across the UK. A strategic approach is necessary and long overdue. Queen H says these monstrosities can happen in private schools as well as mainstream schools. Absolutely, and they do, because I've dealt with many. I'm a senior, Natalia Campbell says, I'm a senior pediatric nurse. I'm happy to help to support with mentoring Maria if she wants to get into the health sector. Oh, that's really nice. Please, Natalia, find me on any social so that you can send your contact details and I will forward it on to the family. Afua, I can't pronounce your surname, Kadenchi or Denchi, because maybe the K might be silent. What do our young people want to see happen? How do we support them to execute their actions / plans? Perhaps it's time we follow their lead. Actually, that leads me into the next question that I wanted to actually put Maria on the spot for. So Maria, just be prepped. Does anyone know where I can find statistics of the teachers leaving due to racism and bullying, and statistics on the myth, losing out on sociability in school, trying to educate people? Oh, I think you mean around home education. The statistics out there. Many teachers are leaving because of those reasons, but you wouldn't necessarily see it publicized, just like you don't see the fact that there's a lot of racist discrimination in schools. It's a case of reading between the lines and or maybe doing a questionnaire around Black teachers. So then that way you can collect your own data. Because I had a family member who used to work for the National Office of Statistics, as well as one of my clients. And they blatantly told us that the information that we see that is published is not the information that they see within the offices. So I'll leave you to deduce what I mean by that. I'm going to come back to Facebook in a second. But the question I do have, Maria, this is directly for you, because I want to hear, because you're a young person out here. You're not as young as I am, but you're one of the young people out here who, a lot of us as adults, we come from a place of love and wanting to find solutions for you. But what do you see? How do you see, even you're online tonight and you're hearing all the love and support, but how do you see this looking like as a young person who feels that I want to achieve X, and going about it with the guidance of maybe your school, who are not necessarily that forthcoming with information? They tell most children to go and stack shelves in Tesco, not that that's a bad thing, but what do you think could be a solution to being able to help young people like yourself to be able to achieve their dreams of what they want to do?
I think a safe space for like us younger children in school.
To go to, yeah.
Yeah, to go to and stuff. Because we don't have many of that in my school.
And is that, when you say a safe space, is that for all children? Or
yeah, for all children.
Right. So the safe space, what does that look like? Is that where there's maybe adults there that can help guide you? Or if you're feeling upset or concerned about something, you're able to
especially adults that are more like me, not trying to sound any.
When she says look like me, she means Black.
Yeah,
of course. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't apologize for
you don't have to.
Melanin magic, because being of hue, we have a different experience. We have a different culture. Our experiences living in a country that doesn't see racism, and those of us that experience racism, our experiences are very different from those that don't see racism and don't experience racism. So don't apologize for your Blackness or wanting to have someone that will more than likely understand you from a cultural perspective of having that person to talk to. What else do you think, like having someone to talk to is definitely support and help? Would you want them to feed back to your family, or would you like it to just be a space of security where it's what goes on in the room stays in the room?
Yeah, I would like that more. What goes on in the room stays in the room.
Yeah, like she has mentioned in the past, like a mentor and stuff, not necessarily family, because yeah, she can talk to me, but you know, sometimes I know myself when I was younger, you don't know who you can trust. Sometimes you're thinking, what if one day, you know, which is not the case, but yeah, like a mentor.
Yeah.
In a safe, like, yeah, somebody outside the house, a community to go to, so to speak.
Yeah, someone I feel comfortable around.
Yeah. I understand that. I fully get that. And that's why we started the youth club that we started for exactly that.
Yeah.
Do you have many youth clubs in your area?
No, not really.
Do you think even that would be something that would help with regard, because it's also not just a safe space to communicate, but also a social setting where you would be able to go and, you know, there's people like you culturally, etc. Is that something that you think could help you in where you live?
Yeah, it will help a lot.
I think that all the Black kids in this borough, like for them to have somewhere they can go after, like that, that'd make all the difference, especially because, you know, you've got your people there, and that means your people are not too far from you as well. There's a space. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I don't know who's online tonight that lives in or near your area, but it is something that even if it's one day a week, that does, I feel in every borough where we are, there needs to be a space like that, so that our children have that space. And, you know, the benefits, even like I said, I've done it and I demanded that space and I asked for it 3 hours a day, just so our children had somewhere to be. And it brought together not only the children, but the parents. Mm-hmm. And the parents became friends, and the parents found out about extra training courses that are available and supporting each other. And that's the community.
Yeah.
Don't even realize how much then where you live is your community, not just the fact that we're all, you know, melanated beings in the UK, but where you live needs to also be your community. And then that brings a connection. And even with those young people that we did have, we took them to Cross Keys UK, summer camp, you know, abroad. And it was funny because I shut that down and then reopened again many years later. And now those people have become adults and actually have their own children that they also sent to the new youth club. So that's the village, that's the community. So yeah, that's really all I had to say. What I'm also looking at is, even by way of education, for everybody that's online, is many of you, I'm looking at a discussion in the chat. You guys are distracting me, but I see the conversation. Someone's talking about Arabic schools, etc. What we need to understand is that a lot of the Jewish schools, Muslim schools, do you hear the common denominator? They are religious schools. And that's how they are able to open, because they're recognized in law as a religion. Someone did mention to me once upon a time that they wanted to open up a Rastafari school. And the thing is, I remember there was a case some years ago with a guy who was a Rasta who was driving with, he didn't want to wear a helmet because obviously his locks were too big. And he took the case to the courts of discrimination and lost. The reason why he lost is because in the UK, they do not recognize the Rastafari as a religion. Interesting, considering it's been around for so long, but they don't recognize it. I'm not sure if it's changed in the last few years, but that was the reason why he lost. Between us, we are able to open free schools as well. And look, I've just seen it on the screen. We're able to open free schools. And when free schools first came in, not only myself, but a few people, about 20 something of us, came together to do exactly that, open up a free school. And every single one of us that looked like me were declined. except for 2 church schools in South London.
Hi, just to enlighten you that Rastafarian has now been recognized. One of the places that endorsed it was the British Army. Myself and 3 others, we took the British Army to court, and it's now recognized within the British Army. So you could be a Rastafarian in the British Army. So it's recognized under law. So if they said that they don't, we need to inquire about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. So it'll be worthwhile looking at that in wider society. I'll do some research. Anyone on here can do some research around it.
Cheryl, have you got Kevin's details?
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool.
What I'll also look at as well is, I just lost my train of thought. Looking at it in wider society as well by way of opening a school, pupil referral units and alternative provisions. The way how they're kicking out our children and trying to force them to go to PRUs. I've got a legal case that 2 legal cases where they've tried to exclude a child, these 2 separate cases, and it's taken a year to get to the courts, a year. So what do these children do in the interim? Not very much. They're at home doing nothing because no one will touch it because it's already been assigned to the court, but the courts are taking a year to get to them. So what they're trying to do is force children to go to alternative provisions and pupil referral units. We can open our own pupil referral units and alternative provisions. You find a building. And the best way to do that is via charity status. And the reason why I say charity status, well, I know it's really difficult to get hold of. It can take up to a year to get charity status. So it's not a quick fix. But the reason why I say to go for those is because that way we're capturing them in the net. We're capturing our children in a net where otherwise they can be easily groomed and placed on the streets. So you've also got that to consider coming together. And every local authority has a list of, asset transfer. You have properties that are in particular boroughs that are capped, community asset transfer. If you have a charity, you are able as a charity to go to the local authority and say, well, this building, whatever it is, an Argos building, a tower block, whatever, and get that under community asset transfer. They will then transfer it over to you as a charity. You don't pay business rates because you're a charity, so you know all the tax stuff around it. This is what a lot of big names do. And even within the building, so one that I was in many, many years when I started out by myself in business, I was actually in a cap business and I paid about £25 a month. However, in saying that, there are about 50 different individual offices in there. So as the charity, you're able to bring in some revenue. You don't have to pay tax. You don't pay council tax. The business rates, you only pay about 20%. So if it's 100,000, you pay 20% of that. So that's something worthwhile looking at. If anyone on this live actually has a charity, that's another thing to look at with regards to community asset transfer, opening up something like that, like an alternative provision or a PRU or even a school. And if you're opening a school that is quite good and successful, you will more than likely be able to keep building at some point. Some of the community asset transfers also last for 100 years. So, but with regards to building and what's going on in London in particular right now, it may be difficult, but you just don't know. There's no harm in trying. So that's something to look at. So I'm just thinking about other solutions. I know I'm just looking at the chat. 100 Black Men of London they're down to fortnightly now. You've also got Andrew Mohammed, who runs Westside Young Leaders Academy, Lewisham Leaders Academy. I know there's an East London Leaders Academy. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, someone maybe correct me, that they also run a full-time school. Home education is also an option. But we have more options than we realize with regards to our children's safety and their education. Yeah, I'm reading that. Eden School. Oh yes, Eden School. How could I forget you guys down in Ealing? They're a private Black school. And they're over in Ealing. So there are a few options, and it is a case of if you don't know, you don't know, but they are out there. All I know is that as an individual, as an organization, as a Black woman, here in London, brought up in this education system, excluded multiple times, would not conform, would not take on their history of Black history, which was just about the slave trade and diminishing and demising myself, always having to be the brown girl in the ring, always them trying to touch my hair, always having to fight, literally physically fight. If you see most of my childhood school pictures, I've got scratches on my face because I was always rocking and I didn't care. I understand what our children are going through, and it's even 10 times worse because back then it was direct racism where they would actually make you feel some type of way. But I don't know what it was about my spirit and my energy. I did not care. But nowadays, our children are told to go and tell the teacher, they're told to conform, they're told to be good, they're told to do all of these things, but yet they're beaten and bruised and battled and belittled every single day. And it's just within our community. And I know other children face racist discrimination. I know other children go through different types of trauma, but I can't speak on that because I'm not part of that community. I can speak on being a Black woman, a Black mother, what our children go through, because I see how my children have to navigate the system. I see how Black children have to navigate the system. I get the files. I've been doing this for long enough to understand. Someone put in another school, hillyparkschool.com. Where are they based, please? Because I can't really go into the chat because otherwise it's just going to mess up my screen. 100 Black Men of London have a mentorship scheme.
Purley. They're based in Purley.
Okay, thank you. And what I was going to say as well, with regards to places like 100 Black Men of London, I've known they started when we started UK Black Women's Business Directory back in the 90s. And people like Weiler, how many other people, because I know Weiler's in West London or North West London, one's in Lewisham, in East London, in other parts of South London, how many other mentoring agencies who are DBS and et cetera, that go into schools? Because that's where even us as an organization, we kind of struggle a little bit, finding people that can go into schools to support our young people who are particularly on the verge of getting kicked out, who have special educational needs. How many people on this live know how to work with children or are qualified to work with children with special educational needs that can come on board with the Black Child Agenda as a recommended agency or advocate to say, we specialize in this area, so that I then can recommend you, because I sit at the table with these people and I always say, we know agencies, but where I struggle with those that know about special educational needs in particular, and other mentors, not only in East London, where Colin James is doing amazing work, where Westside Young Leaders are also doing amazing work. We need organizations and agencies that are doing mentoring, that are doing counseling, that I can easily pull off our databases and, you know, my assistant can just shoot them out to local authorities. Because when a child has an educational healthcare plan, they also have a budget, and parents can also get hold of a personal budget. So if they need a mentor, whether it's in or outside of school, it can be paid for. So those sorts of things I'm also looking at. This needs to be a real holistic approach and not just for children. There's many parents out there who are facing trauma, who also need the support. Queen and Zinger Saturday School in Northolt, Middlesex. I'm going to download all of these things. I'm just loving this. I'm going to download all of these things that are in the chat so that way I can publish them somehow. I don't know how I'm going to go through it. My assistant will have a lovely job to do this, so that it can also be shared. As many of you know, because we're going to wrap up now, because it is 3 minutes past 9. I know we started a little bit late, but Maria and work with role models like Carla, Black professionals. Yeah, it's getting through to them though. If you know a direct way of them being able to access them so that they can actually deliver to a group of young people. If someone sets up the establishment so that they can be called down to come and work with our young people, then that's what we're looking at. Maria, and I keep saying your auntie because I've just got you down in my phone as auntie, so it's logged in my brain. Do you have any final words that you want to say to everybody, just so that people know?
I want to say thank you for the continued support that you all have gotten me. It really means a lot.
And the GoFundMe as well, honestly.
Yeah.
thank you to everybody who donated. Like, it's going to make a massive difference.
Yeah.
And we really, 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 from the bottom of our heart, thank you, each and every one of you. Thank you, Cheryl, for being continuously there to guide us through the whole process as well.
A lot.
Yeah. So yeah, we're leaving here with a big smile on our hearts. Yeah, and on our faces. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Love to everyone.
I'm glad. And everybody that's on this live, everybody that's on YouTube, everyone, look, can you see the chat? The chat's going crazy. The chat's got pure hearts. The chat's got everything going on, because we understand how we understand that we need to support each other. And where we're at right now, I believe, if I'm mistaken, please tell me, is just the how we're going to make this solid, how we're going to continue to be able to protect our children, how, and that's where we're at. I want to share a little video with you. I'm going to take this opportunity to plug myself. Not that I've done that enough today. I'm going to take this opportunity to plug myself, because I've been working on something right now. Let me see if I can remember how to do this, because earlier it was just a bit of a nightmare. I want to take an opportunity to, let me see if I can do this. Hold on, give me a sec. Ooh, look at me being on technical. Right, hold on. Because I want to know, and I want to, this is something I'm working on myself. Listen, I've got so much shrinkage going on here, and it's my son's birthday tomorrow, and I'm dreading having to either blow dry this out or get my hair plaited to where my face doesn't look like as if I've had Botox, because the one thing I've always hated as a child is having my hair plaited. And I am that person. But let me share this with you when you lot go. I would love for people to help contribute to this, because I want a safe space for our children outside of the UK. As many of you know, I spent 2 years in Ghana, and I realized that where I lived was right by the beach. How children are there is just childlike. Like, when I see our children here and I look at the children there, I'm just like, wow, this is what our children need. Our children need a safe space. Our children need a mental break from this madness that we call this country. And so I have a plan of setting up not just a standard school, but have a listen and let me know what you think. Oh God, let me see if I can do this. Can you guys see this, first of all?
Remember, you got to share the video, Cheryl.
No, it's a blank
there's
screen.
nothing there. What are you looking at?
It's a blank screen.
Blank screen.
Hold on, wait. I'm coming with my...
Yeah, you know what? I'm watching something different to you.
What, are you watching anything?
Something different to
go
you.
back again. Go back and open the video like
don't
you did
think so.
earlier on. So go back,
Join
open
us
the video
live.
that you want to
Right.
show.
So,
hold on, let me see.
Yeah, I
Can
couldn't.
you see now?
Yeah, the
same one.
Yes. Yeah, but I wasn't getting it the same way. We should be watching the same thing.
Can you
And
see?
Let me try.
Can you see?
We
You
can
just stopped it.
Yes, we can
Yes,
see. Paid
we
local
can see.
teachers. Yes.
Okay.
And some people need to mute.
Can you see now? Yeah, the same thing.
Yes, we can. Thank you, Cheryl. Run it.
So you've got a problem there. I wasn't getting it the same way people are talking, but I can't hear them talking. You're on YouTube. Come out and join
African Child Agenda was established in Ghana in 2021, we have been funding the refurbishment of basic schools that we use to also run additional lessons for local children. However, the face of education is rapidly evolving and we aim to ensure children are part of this future.
I haven't got that.
We are appealing for your support to help us build a state-of-the-art co-ed international center of excellence, specializing in science, technology, engineering, arts, maths, and languages. Long gone are the days when children sit at desks reciting quotes. Now we are moving to a place and space that allows children the vision to be the new designers, creatives, and engineers of the future. Based on 5 acres of green land, the Phoenix Center of Excellence will boast 2 dormitories, a modern digital and hard book library, teachers' quarter, a multi-use food court which can be used for private hire, a video editing suite, a sensory and meditation suite, super fast Wi-Fi, a theater and dance studio, and solar panels for the lighting. Digital learning and the tech industry will be part of everyday life. For example, artificial intelligence, the computer software that analyzes data to help solve problems and view items in new contexts. Blockchain, a decentralized ledger of transactions that allows for digital currency or cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin to be exchanged. The metaverse and 5G cellular technology will be the Phoenix Center of Excellence specialist subject areas. With a global shortage of individuals filling tech jobs, we will be able to help fill the skills shortage gap. New technology is making smart devices smarter, data more valuable, and cloud-based tools more efficient. It's turning autonomous vehicles into reality. It will disrupt business models, create new ways of working, and facilitate digital transformation. In the not-so-distant future, most technology applications will likely incorporate or harness the output of some form of artificial intelligence. Outdoors will have a tennis court, basketball court, and a wide range of extracurricular activities, as the physical well-being of our children is of the uppermost importance. With a 5-minute drive to the beach and an hour's drive from some of the most historic landmarks in Ghana, the Phoenix Center of Excellence will be well situated within the area and a safe space for your child. Click on the link below to donate to the future of education or go to our website to see full sponsorship and school plan details. www.theafricanchildagenda.org.
That's what I want to build. That's where I want our children to be. Whether you are in, who's that? Victoria Hayford, Cheryl, I'm Ghanaian from LA near the beach. I need to return to Ghana, but the jab. You don't need the jab. This is what I want to do next. That is the area of space. Whether you send your child full time or not, we need a summer camp for our children. So meditation is going to be whether you like it or not, you're going to meditate. We need you to come down the beach. We need you to sit down around campfires. We need you to meet the Ashanti kids. We need you to go to the Ashanti kids. I did a trip in 2022 or one out of the two, with some of my friends here, and they brought their children. And my friend's son, I wish I had the picture that I could show you, was standing next to one of the kings, and he was like, literally, someone that looks like him in the regalia, with power. Our children don't see that here. They don't get it. And that's where we are looking at. This is what I'm looking at. And when in Ghana, it will be in the central region, if you want. It will be in the central region. Right now, I'm looking at Winneba. And we've been given a lot of land, which needs to be transferred over to our NGO. We're registering an international NGO currently. It's costing 20,000 Ghana cedis. And for me, right now, we know that the world is going techno crazy. Whether we like it or not, whether we want to be part of it or not, our children will be. They're looking at putting chips in children. We're looking at all these things. Operations are being done by robots. All of these things are coming whether we agree or we don't agree. Who is building these things? Right now, the Chinese, the Indians, the Germans, everyone is in Africa on the continent swallowing it up. Where are we? Where is our presence? We have the skills, We have our children who we can skill. We have all of these things. And why are we then not training our children in engineering? Why are our children not manufacturing mobile phones, cars, aeroplanes, televisions, furniture, houses? In Africa, the building market is off the chain. Technology market is off the chain. We need to be educating our children in an area that they will thrive. They are the leaders, the holders, and the owners of their own technology. Because right now in that field, they cannot fill positions. The big corporates cannot fill positions because there's no one skilled or qualified to do it. Courts are going online in that space. VR is going online. Virtual reality, sorry, is going online. The metaverse, all of these spaces and places, yes, it's great that we take part, but who's creating it? We're going to always be in a position where we're begging somebody else to give our children a job. Not only are we going to be doing that side of things, engineering, arts, mathematics, languages, tree, French, Mandarin, and optional will be, what's the one that they speak in North Africa? Muslim speaking, I can't remember the name, it's just
Swahili. Swahili. Swahili.
Swahili, and no.
Arabic.
Arabic. Why do our children not know these languages, but everyone knows how to speak English? You know, like where you have those of us that are born and raised in Africa or can speak an African language. Chinese right now set up schools on the continent, teaching their children how to speak Yoruba, Igbo, Swahili, Tree, Fanti, Ga, the whole 9 yards. What language do we speak? I only speak English, sarcasm, and, you know, patois. We need to make sure our children can be in a space that is competitive. Our children are probably the greatest skill. We already know that dance, this fashion, they take it from us and then patent it and then make millions from it. We need to get into the space and place where we're doing this for us, by us. To do it here, I don't know how viable it is, but I know that we have slightly more free reign with our own Pan-African curriculum to be able to do it there. And it's not just Ghana. Ghana will be the flagship because it's where I know. Then we can spread out across the continent. Do you understand? Because some people may, I don't want to be in Ghana. I want to be in, you know, Egypt or Eritrea or Zimbabwe or wherever it is. But at least if we start with one and then we expand, I'm just looking at other options than being here in an oppressive system where we're constantly fighting. If you don't want to send your child full time, then you send them for summer. They'll have a great time. They're not going to want to come back. They have a great time because the beach is down the road. All the castles are down the road. Everyone looks like them. And the way they love children, it's like, chalet these places for their people to live, not surprised they're learning. Oh, hold on a minute, check this out. Do you know there's a lot of European-owned charities going to the continent to teach the children on the continent their own language? Make that make sense. Because parents don't want their children to learn the language. They want their children to speak English. We need to educate our children in a different way. We have the skills. To send your child to a private school out there will cost you about 10 grand a year, if that. Fully functional, fully funded. So I'm fundraising. So if you start seeing my fundraising information and paraphernalia, I wish I had it right now, but that's not what tonight was about. But that's just an option that I'm looking at as Cheryl Phoenix, as the Black Child Agenda. This one is called the African Child Agenda, as a way of an alternative. Other people are doing other alternatives. And again, we need to come together, regardless of what country you're in, to be able to create something where we know that we have a safe space. Our children have a safe space. They're going to be looked after. They're going to be loved. They're going to have the best of everything because they look like us and we. I have some of the team who are also part of this organization. Are also, Wisdom is online. He's in Ghana. I met him while I was out there. You know, Joel is online. There's a few of the people that are part of the team for the African Child Agenda who have been working, when I say tirelessly, Tamar, do you mind? Who has been working tirelessly to help me and us to get this up and running, to make sure that we have a space and a place. So I don't want to go too much into it because that's not what tonight was about. But it is just another alternative that we need to also consider and look at, whether it's Africa, the Caribbean. If anyone is doing things in wherever they are in Africa or the Caribbean, please shout me. How can you help? Hit me up. You can find me. You know, I'm easy to find. I'm not that hard to find. So that way we can fundraise to build this. We can bring children over for the summer. We can, inbox me. I'll tell you how I got to Ghana without the job. There's a lot we can do. It costs half the cost as it does to do, and you don't have the red tape that you do here. You don't have racism. And when I look at children out there, whether they are wealthy, whether they're not, the one thing I notice that they're quite happy. They're quite free. And our children need that wusa. Our children need to be amongst kings and queens who look like them so that they can see themselves in their future. Our children need to be in a space and a place where, particularly for children coming from here, they need that mindful meditation. They need to get up. Out there, they get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. They need that time to get up and meditate. They need a sensory room, which will be built into the school. They need that space so that they can declutter the madness that they have to face here. We know what our children are facing here. They need that space to get out, okay? They need that space to get out. And this for me, because I've tried with the free schools over here, I'm doing the Black Child Agenda. You know, a lot of us are doing other things here and we're constantly firefighting. How about we leave and go back where we came from? Because they're ready for us. They want us there. How about it? Encourage children to help either elders like Black back in the day. 100%. African, thank you, Debbie. Speak to Omar Lefuk. Parents resetting in Ghana successfully. Yeah, 100%. So that's all I wanted to say. That's really all I can say about this evening. I'm grateful to Maria. I'm grateful to everyone that has contributed this evening. It gives me some great hope because when I tell you that I've just been so, not angry, more disappointed in the fragmentation in our community. And we do need to come together. We do need to pull resources. We do need to pull funds. And we need to do better. And we have no choice but to do better. What we saw with what happened to Maria is not an isolated incident. Our children are going through this silently. Schools shut parents down and kick out the kids and label them bad. We either need to leave the country or we need to come together. That's our options. There's nothing else in between. We come together and work, and we leave the country and have that space and safe space that is for us, by us, unapologetically, that we can leave legacies behind and our children are safe. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm going
Big up you, Cheryl, again. Thank you so much again for this platform, for everything you do, and yeah, allowing us to be seen. We genuinely appreciate you. Thank you, thank you.
No, you're most welcome. I'm glad that you guys agreed to come on as well. I wanted the community to hear from you, and they have, and they know that everything is everything. That's what I can say, everything. You guys have done really well. Maria, keep on keeping on. You've heard the love from the community for you and your family. And anyone else who's also gone through this or going through this, you know, we've got your back. The community are here. You know, there's not really much more I can say. I'm just grateful to this platform. I know I organized it, but, you know, I'm grateful to the community because you guys are there. You know, there's many days where I want to give up.
Yeah.
And I will get a call. So.
Oh, Cheryl, you're amazing. You're amazing. And we thank you. We thank you for letting everybody use you as a vessel.
I'm so happy.
No, we see you and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
We come out. So yeah, I'm happy.
Bless you.
Let's continue this. Let's make it count. Let's do this. So that's all I want to say. I'll play a video if I can get it to work. Just for those
Cheryl.
Chit-chat.
Hey, Cheryl.
Yes, babe.
Hey, Cheryl.
You? Yeah.
We got you. I got you.
Yeah,
I
we
got
love
you.
Cheryl.
Yeah,
Thank
this
you
soldier,
guys.
This soldier boy have you. You don't have to worry about anything.
No, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Seriously, I do. It's a lot. And it gets. I've done it wrong again, haven't I? Hold on, let me try this again. I have to go into the thing.
It was working, Cheryl. It was working.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, we could see it.
Oh,
and hear it.
Sorry, this is a call because I want ambassadors for our African child agenda, for the Black child agenda. I need the community to now step up. We've built the Black child agenda. I know is well known. Cheryl Phoenix's name is well known. That's great. But what I need, what Debbie needs, what everyone, what all of us as organization need is you guys. We need you guys. So we need ambassadors. Let me see if I can find this thing now. We need ambassadors, not just for the African child agenda, but for all the groups. Like there's people that have organizations that have 2, 3, 5, 10 people. We need 1,000. That's what we need.